Where you going? What are you drinking tonight? Let's keep 'em flowing. Where do you come from? Where are you going? What are you feeling tonight? And what are you showing? Where do you come from? 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 Where are you going? What are you drinking tonight? Let's keep 'em flowing.
Hey everybody, welcome to a special edition of Cloud and Console. We are here with some awesome people and some Legend of Zelda enthusiasts. So this episode, just want to let you know, is a little bit different. We're not going to go over the gaming news. We are just going to be nerding out on Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I'm joined, as always, by my super co-host, leveling up the podcast as always, Nads614. No need to ask what you've been playing on this week. I believe it's been the same as I've been playing on this week. It's been Zelda, the
Yes,
legend
definitely.
of the legend.
The legend, yes.
But without further ado, I don't want to keep the guests speechless for too long. I want to break into some awesome Zelda conversation. So we are joined by Inioke, who is a game streamer as well. You can see their link and attachment in the title there. So why don't you give us a little bit about who you are?
Yeah, hey guys, I'm Inioke. I am the mysterious egg you see on the screen in front of you. I'm a new Zelda fan. I have been obsessed with Tears of the Kingdom lately, playing it every day. It's only my second Zelda game ever. My first one was Breath of the Wild, which I actually finished a few months ago. So, very new to the Zelda world, but I'm loving Tears of the Kingdom and I can't get enough of it.
Nice.
Awesome. And we are joined by a massive enthusiast to the entire franchise and series itself. I believe he brought the encyclopedia itself with him. That is Half Hung. How are you doing this evening, sir? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey guys, so I'm Half Hung. You may have seen me before helping carry these two dorks through raids on Tuesday nights with the boys. I am as you said, a big Zelda enthusiast. I have been playing the series for well over 25 years now.
Nice.
It's one of those games that I've always looked at since childhood and loved. So Tears of the Kingdom was, what can I say? It was just a natural that I was going to dive into that hardcore.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely. So Why don't we start a little bit about what's been going on with Zelda? What's a little bit of the history? Nads, what's your history with Zelda? Obviously, I think you have not missed a game, if I'm correct to say that, in the series. Or
Well, there's a game. There's a series of Legend of Zelda, the CDI version I
Oh
never
god, we
touched.
don't talk about those.
We don't talk about it.
We
It's not
don't
even
talk
part of the
about those.
timeline. But if I look at the timeline here, I'll pull it out here just to give an idea to people. If you look at the timeline in here, pretty much the only one I didn't really play, it was on the 3DS. But even there, I got him later. I played Spirit Track, Phantom Hourglass, Wind Waker. That was on the GameCube and also on the Wii. I basically played all of them but the Four Sword Adventure because I didn't have anybody else to play with, and you needed to
oh,
be with other people. But yeah, pretty much all of them, which is pretty amazing. I try to remember if I skip any of them. I didn't play the Link Awakening, the recent change of it. I just like the original, right? So that's pretty much the only one I didn't play. But yeah, I'm
wicked,
a big
wicked. And how about you, Have Hung? Have you played the series in its entirety?
Like Nads, the only games I haven't played are Four Swords because they were co-op games.
Yeah.
But otherwise,
Yeah.
I have played. I haven't necessarily beaten, but I have played every game in the franchise except Four Swords, including the ones that aren't on that timeline because it's missing Link Between Worlds.
Oh yeah.
So I played that one as well, and obviously the two Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. So everything except Four Swords and Four Swords Adventures, I've either played or beaten.
Yeah, because
Oh wow, interesting. Same one for the both of you.
Yeah, Link Between World is like one of the most recent one on the NL.
It is
Yeah.
the newest handheld exclusive game before they dropped support for the DS and went Switch only.
So how about you, Inioke? I believe you mentioned are the only two ones you've played Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, or have you had other experiences in the
I have
in the
not.
Legend?
I'm very green to this. So yeah, those are the first two and very recent. I know Breath of the Wild came out years ago, and I always had my eye on it, but I've never played anything like it. I'm a pretty avid casual gamer, like, the Cyberpunks, the Witchers out there, but yeah, never stepped into the Zelda world until very recently.
You picked a great time to start.
Yeah, I mean, it really is, I feel like the pinnacle of Zelda where they've really taken all the best parts and they've merged it into this two-part series that's taken over 6 years to tell. So I'm very excited with what's happening now. And I actually myself don't has an in-depth experience of these two gentlemen. I first broke into Zelda with Ocarina of Time. That game opened me up to how amazing the series was. I believe I cleared every playthrough on the thing when I had my N64. I then came back to the game in the series over and over again, beating it. However, I couldn't get through Majora's Mask. That was incredibly difficult for me. The 3-day cycle, I tried to play it, but as a kid, it just didn't.
It was
make
frustrating
sense
as a kid.
It was a dark,
oh my gosh.
a dark Zelda. Like I really like that one, Majora's Mask. It was like a bit of follow-on story on Ocarina of Time, so I kind of like that. But yeah, it was a little bit dark, and that
wow.
3-day cycle, you had to like get in the habit, right?
I think
The
that's why
chat's
I
getting a-
love Tears of the Kingdom so much because it's a little bit more dark than Breath of the Wild. And I'm like, I want that dark stuff again. And that's why I'm excited to get into the older games too.
You would definitely like some of the older ones then. Because there's
Yeah,
some ones that actually get surprisingly dark at times.
I think one of my favorite dark one was when Link is changing into a wolf.
Twilight Princess.
And it's the reason why my dog is a black lab mixed with no, sorry, retriever, lab and retriever mix. He's all black, and his name is Link. I freaking love that Legend of Zelda because it was very dark, and there's like some creepy part out of it. So if you play it, you're like, "What the hell is happening?" Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a good one.
I really wish that they bring those Zeldas back to the Switch because that's the only window I've had to be played. Link's Awakening. I played a Link's Between Two Worlds, I believe it's called, or Link to the Past. I'm not sure. And then
Yeah, Link to
there
the Past.
was the Sky Sword,
A
Skyward
Skyward
Sword.
Sword. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and
another
It's
one
all
we
of
don't
those are thanks
necessarily
for
talk
the
about.
Switch. But they made
I
it better on
like
the
that.
Switch. You
Yeah,
could just
I
use the
actually
sword like regular.
Even though I was pissed with the controller on the Wii when playing Skyward Sword, I still liked the story. I was like,
The
now it
story of
make the
Skyward,
sense. Yeah,
the story of Skyward is fantastic. It's
yeah.
just the gameplay because they pushed the motion controls that made everyone hate it.
Oh,
But the
exactly.
story was good.
That's a good top thing to talk about the motion controls because I hear some of you are not fans of the Nintendo Switch motion controls
Oh
and just turn it
yeah.
off completely. I feel like I depend on it, but maybe it's because this is my first Zelda game and Nintendo Switch.
Oh, so are you using your controller to aim with the bow and stuff like that?
Yes.
That's a
Yes.
good
Oh, okay, okay.
question.
Is that a noob
Are you
I
move?
did.
using the
I turned it
joystick?
off.
Oh, okay. I think that's such a pro thing to do, though.
In Breath
Are
of the
you?
Wild, you needed it for certain puzzles, right? In
Yeah.
Tears of the
Yes,
Kingdom, you
yes,
don't.
because of the
And that's the
gyro
thing. In
puzzle.
Breath of the Wild, I left it on because you need it for puzzles. But then as soon as I got to Tears and you didn't need it anymore, I was like, I'm turning that off. No, thank you. Because more often than
Yeah.
not, I'm trying to do something and like my handle twitch or something, and then my aim goes to the moon. And I'm like, all right, I guess I
Yeah.
die.
That's funny.
So Callie Drew Voss, thanks for coming into the chat. Appreciate it. Can you guess which three Breath of the Wild follows? Oh, interesting.
Which three? Yeah, go.
Without spoiling it too much, I feel like there's elements in Tears of the Kingdom that point to Ocarina of Time. But that's just
So
me. I mean, I don't want to spoil it all too much.
Nintendo didn't bring it up and put a placement into the history of like where Breath of the Wild is and Tears of the Kingdom. Basically, you got let's say the prelude is the what you call it, what's the Dynasty Warrior version, but like
Oh,
Oh, Hyrule Warriors.
we have another guest in the back room. We're gonna bring on in. It's Purple Haze here.
hey, Purple.
Hello.
What? I am prepping my Zelda gear today.
Oh, Zelda.
Zelda, just got this hat actually, so super excited
Oh
about it.
wow.
That's awesome. But yeah, just to go back to what I was saying, like Breath of the Wild got placed after the tree timeline. It's separate. There's still no connection between the tree timeline to get there, but yeah, that's where it's at basically.
Oh, hi Hannah. Thanks for stopping by. That's my wife.
Nice. That's me, but purple. Also,
Oh, she
hey,
liked the hat.
Ah.
Yeah,
Just-
so you're saying that the Breath of the Wild continues after the three timelines merge together?
Yeah, it's kind
at
of
the
like
end.
after, yeah, at the
All
end.
they've said
so
is it is at the end, way, way out there.
they didn't like
So it's a new
connect.
beginning.
Almost, yeah.
Okay, so you kind of don't
don't
miss
really
anything
know.
really. It's kind of a great new start for anyone like
Yeah.
Inioke, who's getting
Oh,
into
yes.
it for the
A
first time.
newbie. Yes. I'll take
Yeah.
all the tips I can on these.
So one tip that I wanted to share off the bat here, which is something I learned very recently. I'm in a couple different groups. Is you want to always keep your hearts at full because there's the 2-hit rule. Because if you get hit with full hearts, you will never die with one hit. it will always take you to a quarter of one heart, regardless of how many hearts you have. So you always want to keep your health full.
You know, that's where I have a theory that those temporary hearts mean absolutely nothing. Because there's so many monsters that one hit you, and like
Yeah.
no matter how many temporary hearts you have, you get down to like a quarter heart. And so I don't know if that's how it was in Breath of the Wild, but
Mhm.
that's like I don't know. Do you guys think temporary hearts are useless or?
I guess it would depend on the scenario if you need them for like a specific reason. I try to think. I think in Breath of the Wild,
Fighting
it's the
Lionels.
arts. Oh
Fighting
yeah.
Lionels, I want as
Yeah.
many hearts as I can get. Because
I
they
haven't
hit you,
seen
they
it so far.
immediately. I have
Yeah.
max armor. I have 72 armor with my build. A Lionel, silver Lionel hits me, I immediately lose like 15 hearts. And I'm like, all right, I get two shot by these things. Great.
15.
The main thing I do is I carry a lot of fairy with me. So every time I'm running low, I just go collect some more. So I found some location where they respawn after a day, and I go and sneak collect them. So like this, if I run out of art, I'm reviving, so that I don't have the game over screen.
Yes, fairies are a godsend.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. So has everyone been experiencing a couple game over screens?
Many.
oh,
Many.
I should have a counter for sure.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. I wonder if it
I
counts
feel
it somehow.
I feel like I've experienced the most amount of game over screens in the depths. The depths has been
Mhm.
Yeah.
absolute me wandering in the dark. There's this poison field of red that I can't step on. But there is one tip that I want to drop here that I found completely by accident. So in the depths, there is these skeleton dudes, and they're riding on horses, right? If you get on a horse of the skeleton nature, they'll ride over the red stuff, and you won't
Yeah.
get hurt.
Same with
Yeah.
vehicles. If you
Oh,
build a
with vehicles as
vehicles,
well.
yeah,
Vehicles can drive over it as
Yeah,
well.
they go over as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But vehicles, I don't know. Is there any way to stop them from breaking on you? I find that they just break
They're on a
over
timer.
time.
Yeah, there are
you just have a
timers.
set amount of
Nothing
time
to
you're allowed to
stop
use
them.
them.
Ah.
It's really frustrating when you're trying to get to the island above Eventide in the bottom left corner of the map, and the only way you can get there is by going to there's another sky island, but it's so far away, and you literally just have to fly from as close as you can, which is 60 years away, and your vehicle will break before you even get halfway, and then you just have to glide and hope you brought enough stamina potions. It is a matter of how many stamina potions do I have. I hope it's enough.
That's funny. That's awesome. Purple, what's your experience with the Tears of Kingdom so far?
It's been great. Like I I've been mostly exploring the map, trying to see what's different, and just mainly doing shrines and towers. Basically have unlocked all the towers. Well, minus a few where I need a little bit more gear to go in the weather. I guess I could do a potion or some type of like meal, but just been doing that, and then ran into like some interesting bosses. We talked about the depths earlier. Rudiggz. Like I spent the whole second day down there because I did not know like at the time that you could teleport out of there. So I kept
Yeah.
trying to
No.
like I spent like no joke. You can ask Amy because I was talking to Amy. I spent like 8 to 10 hours down there. So like good news
Oh.
is like I was able to find like a lot of stuff down there. Like that's
Oh
cool.
my god, that's
But I
crazy.
spent a lot of time down there just like, oh, this is great. But I was, finding things, and there's a couple of stuff that's worth it down there. So yeah, but it's been good. I think I just checked. I'm at 35 hearts. So our 35
Nice.
shrines. I finished 35
Oh,
of them.
wow.
Okay.
Nice.
Everyone's
Ooh.
catching up to me, except Amy. No.
That's taking off Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Like I haven't played the game at all those days.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so and I was playing it today, and I was on a roll, and so but it's not a race. Like I'm gonna probably take a while to finish it, and I like to unlock all the shrines. before. That's what I did in Breath of the Wild, and if I can, I'm gonna try to do that here
Oh, okay. Before you do the story.
okay.
Okay, yeah.
because I
That's-
like puzzles. Like I'm
Yeah.
a puzzle person, and so like I feel like the shrines in themselves is like a game. Just on doing those types of puzzles, and unfortunately for this, the gear isn't as good. I don't know if y'all had that experience, but so far my gear is not like if you did it in Breath of the Wild, like you would get like amazing gear as you
Yeah.
unlock the shrines, but now it's like, oh,
You get it differently. I found like you don't get them in the shrine anymore. I
Yeah,
found some
Inio.
gear. Oh,
No,
dimension.
sorry. I think Iniok, you were saying something to that as well, that the chests in the shrines are just not worth it.
I
Like they
always
just
get opals, and I'm like, what do opals do? They don't
You
even
sell
have
them.
like, yeah, but like at least topazes and rubies, they have like the extra fire and ice on. But I do so much work to try to 100% the shrines, get to that really hard chest, friggin' opal, another opal,
So
and I don't know.
they
There's
do
other
have
ones, yeah.
some use. They're water.
Well, they are water.
They're water.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
so you have fire, ice, water, and electric for your gems.
ah, So I could
And there's-
extinguish
Okay.
some flames.
Exactly.
Yeah, and there's
Wait a
like
second. The
section
opals
you
create
need.
water?
If
Yeah,
you
if
put
you
them
put
on
on
a
the
magic
staff.
rod, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
Hmm.
and then there's a section you need some. I use the fire hydrant. That's all. But yeah.
Fire hydrant.
Ah.
Whoa.
Yeah, you can spawn one after you use the vending machine, right? Which is
Yeah,
hey, that's
exactly.
the most
Gumball machine.
ridiculous Japanese thing in my life. When you
It's
just like
gotcha, man! It's
all
gotcha!
throw in the
Gotcha.
thing and all the things come out of the vending machine
So
and you're
have we
like,
found
I
out
win.
is it lottery or is it like a set formula that like is it always a set number or is it just a lottery? Have we figured that out yet?
I think it's
Oh,
just
the vending
random,
machine.
but the vending machine, every vending machine has 4 or 5 different kind of item you can get. But then you go to a different location, the same item is going to be dispensed there also. So I feel like every time I go somewhere, I get more item of the different kind. So so far I didn't run out, so it's good.
Mm.
From my experience, each vending machine has a different list of what's available.
Mm.
What you get out of it's random, like how much of each you get out, but each vending machine has a list of what's there. So every time you see a new one, it's worth tagging it just so you know what's there. So if later on the game you're like, oh no, I need more fans, you can just look at the vending machine locations for a fan and teleport over there.
Yeah.
Very cool. So there's a little bit of method to the madness, but then it's still gotcha. It's
Yep.
definitely still.
Gotcha.
It's always
It's a lot
gotcha.
of
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun. My go-to build right now has been the hover bike. I thoroughly enjoy it. I saw it on a short, and it said this is like a must-build item: a hover bike, 2 fans on a control. I was like, boom, done, made it. I just keep spawning it over and over again and flying around everywhere. What's everyone else's favorite build been?
I really like the monster truck with the big wheel. I've been using that a lot. Or like even the bird flying around with a bunch of fan and I stack them back to back so I gain more speed. Get some of the battery that it can dispense themselves, so that's pretty good.
How about you, Half Hung?
I actually don't use the building any more than really necessary.
See?
Oh,
I
wow.
collect all the armor and I level it up. So
Hmm.
my thing is I go to all the locations because I have a lot of shrines and I just teleport to where I need and then I'll fly as far as I can. If it's in water, I have Zora armor. If it's in, the desert, I have armor for that. So I literally just run or fly everywhere. I'm like, I don't need a vehicle. They just waste my time to build them.
It's true.
Yeah, I
I'm
found
sure
the
that's the
horse.
way to do it.
Yeah.
The
I
horse
found-
kind of gets forgotten about.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly. I forgot about it. Epona is like somewhere in the field. Like, oh,
Give
yeah,
me
there's
my
horse.
motorcycle.
No, the motorcycle.
How about you and Eo? What's your experience with the building? Do you have a favorite build? Or are you kind of ignoring it like Half Hung?
I feel like I'm still early in the game to get the whole plethora of things, but I do have a plan to try to make my horse fly. I tried to have it get on the wings today during my stream. It wasn't getting on the wings, but I think we can make a contraption with like a little box. Put the horse in the box, maybe put a hot air balloon on top and
Ah.
send it to space, or maybe bring it up to Sky Island. I think it will work.
Bravo.
It's on my
Oh my
head, but
gosh.
I'm gonna try to make it work soon.
Oh, that's
How
funny.
how about yourself, Purple? Are you sort of agree with Half Hung
Yeah,
there?
you've seen how I build. Like I try to make it too, cause it's like I get a little too cute with it, and before I know it, it's no longer like I've now built something totally different. Like I am just like building and building, and so like if it's like me just trying to play the game, it's like okay, you know, uh, basically 3/4 of the map I have like shrines over there. It's like 1/4 I haven't really been focusing on, and so like yeah, I just like once I get there, let me go there because I'm focused on shrines and towers and if there's a side story because you can kind of tell main story from side story just it tells you for one and then like what is this gonna unlock, so that's what I've been focused on.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
Nice.
Yeah,
And
I
so does oh yeah, go
no,
nuts. Go
sorry.
nuts.
I found they added that feature where you can build stuff just because a lot of previous game is a survival game and you have to build. And I think that's like kind of their little touch of it. It's like, oh, well, we'll let people build like random stuff and see what they came up with, right? So I kind of like
Oh
that.
my
It
gosh.
was,
We are
Sorry,
reading,
Chad, if
Debbie.
you feel Chad. It's been so much. I want to get to everybody here on the panel. Um I want to say what's up to the middle of this. Say hi to everybody who came by. Crystal, thank you as always for stopping by. Bliss Ray 3473, who actually did the original Raise Praise to Inioke. So that's how you're joining us today. So
Thanks,
thank you for
Race.
stopping by. Apollo Heron coming through on the paired link. Thank you. I think that's from you, maybe Inioke as well. We have Hayes DMC. We have Julian. Thanks for coming on by. Callie Drew Voss is also a big fan, and I sent you an invite, Callie Drew Voss, if you're around. Crow Resin, thanks for stopping by as well. Oh my gosh, everybody coming on. Blubber 109 and Debbie, of course. We are trying to read chat as well. Some people say, here's a great clue that I wanted to share with everyone playing Tears of the Kingdom. So the underground trees that you light up from the depths are actually linked to the shrines in the above world.
yeah.
They're in the exact same locations. So very interesting, cool little tidbit that they mirror that. So really awesome to know. Reaver the Beaver, thanks for coming on by. And yes, Debbie, we do play Destiny 2 and we play with the community every Tuesday. So absolutely happy to have you in with our raid runs. Yeah, we get people through raids and it's awesome. You don't need to even be on mic. Half Hung is that good. I'm telling
Hey,
you.
if I have to carry these guys every Tuesday, I can carry one more. It's fine.
And we have SPG. Hey. Thanks for coming on by. Had a blast. Yes, on Retro Rewind. If you didn't catch that, be sure to go back and catch on Simply Pwned Gaming's channel. Nads and I were a special guest on Retro Rewind. We had a lot of fun hanging out with everyone and sharing our gaming history. So
Talking
mostly
about
also just
Zelda
nerded
again.
about. Yes, everybody here does stream. Well, Half Hung is just an enthusiast, but Inioke is a streamer. You can catch her link in the chat there or the description. Purple Haze, as well as myself, and Nads does stream on the channel as well. Yeah, so absolutely. Well, back to Zelda and my question here. So I myself have an approach to Zelda which is based upon Ocarina of Time. I have to go to Death Mountain first. That's the one I go to. because it's ingrained. I played Ocarina of Time so many times, and that was the first temple you were supposed to go to, the Fire Temple. That is just ingrained in me to go there first. But now they have the Bird Temple, which screws up my whole thinking. And like the Bird Temple to me has the most useful ability. I don't want to go into it all too much, but I always keep that one to last. Do you guys have sort of this sort of method to tackling it, or do you just go for whatever comes along your way first? I'd like to hear.
So I think I'm a little similar. So if you think about where Death Mountain was in Ocarina of Time, it's kind of like the 1 to 2 o'clock. If you think about that map of Hyrule, right? And so similarly, if you think about Breath of the Wild, the first one you were supposed to go to was probably not Death Mountain, but you're going that direction to get to Kakuro Village. And so I think this same time happened for this game. That's actually I ended up going there to Death Mountain first, and then kind of like swooped around. You can think of a clockwise, similar to like in, even though Ocarina of Time you're doing in time, but if you can think about Ocarina of Time, it kind of does go in this clockwork way of doing the map. So I'm somewhat similar.
Okay.
I
I know
get
for
that
me, I
point.
just for me, I just like
It's just
went with the
clockwise.
story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just for me, I went with
Inio.
the.
Oh, sorry.
Oh no,
Yeah,
sorry.
no,
Go
Nads,
ahead, Inio. No, go ahead, Inio.
Oh, sorry, don't mean to interrupt.
All good.
But
All
I get
good.
so excited about this topic.
Everyone's excited. I'm
Yeah.
trying to go. Purple's probably helping me here, but I guess it's good to go down and then back up so everyone has their even talking time. So Inio, please let us know.
Yeah,
What's your
you know,
approach to the game?
I had no approach. I'm so green, but I think I pride myself in following directions. So I tried to, I think Pyrrha was suggesting doing the bird one first, but I say that, but then I completely missed the directions of how to get the memories, and they go all over the place, as we talked about earlier. But I think I did get that tip, I guess. I don't know if you guys heard it from Pyrrha, who I still don't understand how she changed so much from the last game. But yeah, to go maybe to Gerudo first, but I'm saving Gerudo for the last because I think Gerudo is very much intertwined with Goron's story. Not Goron, with Ganon's storyline. And I did Gerudo last in Breath of the Wild, and I think it will fit with what's in my mind with the storyline this game.
Ah, good approach. And how about yourself, Hafung?
I was thinking about it and I realized I've gone counterclockwise in both games. Because in Breath of the Wild, they very strongly encourage you to do the Zora first.
Right.
Because literally you leave Kakariko Village and there's Zora everywhere saying, hey, go this way. And it's like, all right. And so I went clockwise and I always counterclockwise. And I always do that because I always do Gerudo last in Breath of the Wild because I hated that dungeon the most. Until I actually learned it, it was so frustrating to deal with. And then in Tears, again, Purah tells you, hey, you should go to the Rito. So I went naturally that way. And then from there, I was like, well, I'm already over here. So I just kept going around the map. So I did Gerudo and ended on Goron. And I mean, there wasn't really a reason for it. It's just I was already in the area and I was like, oh, look, another sky view tower. I'll go do that. Oh, look, another sky view. Oh, look, there's Goron City. All right, here we are.
That's how they suck you in.
It
It's like,
is.
I'm going to end the game. Oh, there's another tower. Oh,
Oh, one more shrine. I just need one more shrine.
I think it's interesting. Sorry, Rudiggz, I mean, I feel like we should have like played we should have had a conversation about Breath of the Wild, right? Because there's certain things y'all are saying about Breath of the Wild where I'm like, oh, I wonder about this. But now that we're in Tears of the Kingdom, it's kind of like you're starting in the middle of like you can tell a lot about how someone is, how they play a game, and so it's like trying to like, where is this person in how they game. So it's kind of cool to hear, because I was like, Gerudo last, how did you do that last? That was like second for me. So
Because it was so frustrating to fight.
Gerudo was always
Oh, it's
well.
so
See,
fun.
now that the bird people have been introduced, I always put them as last because they're new. They weren't in Ocarina of Time, so
So you're
to me,
They're
trying to
not
do it like
new.
that.
They're not
they're
new.
No.
my
They are new.
afterthought.
They evolved from the Zora.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
Okay,
if you play
so for
Wind
people,
Waker or
yeah, for anyone who hasn't played the older games,
What?
in the timeline,
Rudiggz is like, what? I have not played this.
in Ocarina of Time, you had the Zora. Then the timeline splits to 3 different versions. And in the child timeline where you get Wind Waker, the Zora have evolved into the Rito.
Mhm.
And that's the only timeline they're in, but it's weird. I don't know why they did that, but the Zora evolve into the Rito for Wind Waker. And in the other timelines, they stay the Zora.
Okay.
Which is
Yeah.
why people always struggle to place Breath of the Wild at any one location, because there's characters from different timelines.
Yeah.
So we're just like, it's just at the
Oh.
end of everything.
They kind of merge everything and they're like, oh yeah, here we go, new timeline.
But that actually makes sense, right? If we think about what happens, see, this is what I'm saying. If you think about what happens in Hyrule Warriors, right? And if you think about what Zelda does, or what, I don't
Hyrule
know.
Warriors are not considered canon, though.
Yeah.
I get it, but it would make sense to put that in there, because that is how, like, you bring sometimes
All the
How you can
people
converge
together.
them.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yes. Well, Nads, let me know about how you approach the game.
I think I just like went randomly. I always go to the castle first because I want to get the Hyrule
Go to the
Shield.
castle.
I'm gonna go
Yeah.
fight Ganon first.
No, I don't go fight
That's
Ganon. I
it,
go
folks,
get the
that's it.
shield. I always get the shield first. That's my first thing. I went to get the Hyrulean shield because I freaking love that shield, and I end up not using it all the time. I'm always using it when I need to. And then I went and did the Rito. I think I just ended up there. I was like, oh, it's snowy here. It's not supposed to be snowy. Oh, I'll fix the problem, and that's what it is. But basically, I just went that direction, and then I ended up with the Goron because I was flying above their city. I was like, oh, better discover it in case I need to go back there for X reason. And I started their little story. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to head back there, finish it off eventually. But I'm probably going to do that and go to the next location. I didn't have any plan. I was just more like doing a lot of side quests. I like to clear up my inventory of quests and go do the easy one, and sometimes the easy one lead me to one of the main quests, and I decide to do it, just clear it up basically. So yeah, that's
And
pretty much my way.
this is a good point. So the recommended path is for the regional phenomenon is actually the Rito, then the Goron, then Zora, then finally Gerudo, which is interesting because to me the desert should always be last because that's what they did in Ocarina of Time. Man, that desert cat temple in Ocarina of Time with the mirror puzzle and the quicksand. Oh, it echoes through my memory as like one of the greatest temples. The bosses, the big castle with the weights or the big statue with the weights in the hands.
It was definitely my favorite song when you go
yeah.
because it had like that
Ooh.
very Spanish-y type of like
Yes.
beat. Like it was a very solid.
Yeah, it was like an Ati song. Funny enough, if you look online, there's some DJ that redid that song. Pretty good, pretty
Ooh.
interesting. Yeah, yeah, that's funny.
And so, what are everyone's favorites? Like, are they enjoying the gameplay mechanics? Are they enjoying the sort of upgrade from Breath of the Wild into Tears of the Kingdom? I know they sort of stuffed everything you had in your pad into your Ultra Hand, and now they sort of give you a couple suite of new abilities. But yeah, just sort of, what your impressions were of getting new abilities, how you felt about it, what you think of the arm, maybe even being that new ability. But yeah, we'll start with Nads this time and work our way down.
For me, I found like compared to Breath of the Wild, They kind of went the same direction as Breath of the Wild in Tears of Kingdom, but changed it a little bit. Now it's your arm having all those power. Your tablet doesn't do as much other than taking picture. But like I like the way they kind of converted it this way. And I feel like, oh, like we used to have the bomb, the two different type of bomb, the round one and the square one. But now we have the plant bomb, and you can like use it as well as like all the other one, or like uh the one you get from the machine from the distributor basically. So it's quite interesting how they were able to transfer some of the feature, and then now like you have new stuff. It's like if I go back to Breath of the Wild, it's like, oh yeah, I forgot that it was there before. Okay, so it's quite interesting. I really like the mechanic, the direction they went, and how it plays with the overall world, right?
And how about you, Have Hung?
I am all over the place with it. There are parts that I would prefer from Breath of the Wild and parts that I prefer from Tears. I think Ultra Hand is better than Magnesis because I can affect more things. Not having bomb runes really is frustrating at times. Not having Rivali's Gale really sucks. Not having Urbosa's Fury to one-shot everything sucks. But then you get other things along the way that compensate and make up for that in different ways. Like you get ways to deal with bomb situations later on that is a new and creative way of doing it. Doesn't replace bombs in my opinion, but good enough. Instead of Rivali's Gale, now you just get a rocket, strap it to your shield, and you can eat yourself up. It's great.
Yeah.
So there's some parts that I really do love about it. Some of the fusing, I'm still 50-50 on. The creation of vehicles to kind of figure out how to get to different areas is interesting, but at times annoying. You know, I don't necessarily have like a perfect answer on that one. It's kind of like each thing, I either love it or I hate it, and it's different for each and every different ability. Some of it I miss, and some of it I could care less.
Oh, good take. I like the attach. So, just so I get this straight, are you dropping your shield, fusing a rocket to your
No.
shield?
You drop a rocket and you
Okay.
have an equipped
Yeah.
shield. You fuse the rocket to your equipped shield,
Mhm.
and then when you go and you guard with your shield, it will yeet you straight up in the air.
I do that. Every time
What?
there's a bunch of rocket, I fill out all my shield with rocket.
Yep.
No.
So if you need to climb a cliff wall, you can just throw yourself about
Rocket
100
up.
feet in the air.
What? Have you
It's
guys been
Rivali's
doing
Gale.
this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I've
heard
Rivali's
about it.
Gale.
I've not seen this. That's crazy. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so Inioke, is there stuff that you like from the new one? Are you enjoying the new gameplay mechanics? How do you feel about the
Yeah,
gameplay mechanics side of the game?
I really resonate with Half Hung. I miss the bombs so much because I like to blow up all the ores. But some of the mechanics just blow my mind in Tears of the Kingdom. I think just overall starting out, Breath of the Wild, I was saying to my stream, like this might be an unpopular opinion. I was underwhelmed by Breath of the Wild in a lot of aspects. But coming into Tears of the Kingdom, I just am blown away by just the different things they have and the different just what you can do and what you can craft. And yeah, there's been some crazy stuff being crafted for sure. But yeah, the possibilities are limitless. So that's what I love about that. But miss the bombs.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. And how about yourself, Purple? And gameplay mechanic wise, what is your feelings between the two of those games?
Yeah, so I think for me, when I think about Breath of the Wild, so I'm gonna take the question a little different because I don't think of it just purely as game mechanics. I think of it as game physics, right? And so, like to me, that's what I remember about Breath of the Wild when I play it is just the physics of the game because like your abilities are very physics based, right? If you think about it. And so when I think of Tears of the Kingdom, what I enjoy about it is the fact that they built upon that idea. Like the idea of like kind of just adding more laws of physics in it and it makes sense and it works together. However, I think there are some times where I'm like, I wish I had some of the previous abilities, but I could say that about Breath of the Wild. I could say that about any of the Zelda games. Like there's always this idea of like an ability you wish you had. Like, we talked about Ocarina of Time. Do I wish I had a flute that could just like magically pop something up, like because I played? Like, of course, like I want that.
I miss a hook shot for me.
Right.
Oh, the hook shot or the boomerang. Boomerang?
Yeah.
I'm sure you could make a boomerang now.
No, you
Right.
can get some lizard boomerang, but anyway.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So I think like that. So to me, it's like overall, I have an appreciation for what's in Tears of the Kingdom, if that makes sense, versus saying like, oh, I either really, really don't like this. I really do. It's like, okay, it's again, I look at Zelda first and foremost as a puzzle game, and then you have action adventure onto it. And so as a puzzle game, I have this appreciation for making me think a different way.
Yeah, and one thing I want to bring up about the puzzle, I feel like every time you go somewhere, there's a puzzle. If it's to find a Korok or advance in your story, there's always puzzle everywhere, and I freaking love that. It's just like the entire world is a puzzle, right?
I mean, those Koroks, they need to pack less. Am I right?
Listen, the number of rocks I've dropped on a Korok's head and tried to give them concussions with.
Always.
One last note on mechanics. I just thought of this. If there's one thing that I could yeet into the atmosphere, I want to get rid of the camera. I am so tired of taking pictures of everything. I would yeet my Purapad into the sun just to delete the picture from the game.
Oh, you don't like taking a selfie?
No.
Come on, you gotta take a selfie with Robbie. Actually, a fun thing about Robbie that I heard is they actually named the character Robbie after Robin Williams because he was such a big advocate for the game, so they sort of immortalized him in the title of Zelda because he actually named his daughter after the game. His daughter's name is Zelda, Robin Williams. Yeah, it's a little fun thing that they did over there. But yes, what do you guys think of the map this time around? First of all, I want to say that I think it's absolutely ridiculous that Nintendo somehow used the exact same map and they're coming out with a Game of the Year status game with the same map in a sequel. I feel like if other games did this and used the same map, there would be hell to bring. Yeah. They would say, we need a new map. How are they doing this? But the depths is huge. You could spend, like Purple said, hours and days down there getting trapped.
It's interesting because the map, people say like, oh, the map's the same, but it's so different. But then you get in the game, it's just like, you have 3 different levels. And it's just, where do you go from there? Yeah. So it is the same, but different. So
yeah.
So
go Purple.
So I'm kind of mixed on this because I'm like, it is a sequel. And so like when you think of like what other games do, like when you think about games with a map for the sequel, and when you think about Hyrule, I don't know, like my mind goes mixed because I think I've tweeted it, I've said it out a lot of times. For a world that felt so familiar in Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom feels very foreign. And I'm trying to understand from a design perspective, is that because they put these rocks just randomly in random places and you then make these 3 levels? I'm not even talking about the sky and in the depths. I'm just talking what is it that's throwing me off? And so like overall, I think like it's ingenious game design with the maps, and so I don't necessarily hate it. I think I would probably hate it more if you gave me a different world that it just didn't interact the same. I think I really would want people to flip that around, because one of the things I don't like about the Zelda games up to date is Hyrule feels different in all of them.
Actually, it's the same world layout as the first Legend of Zelda came out on the NES. If
really?
You look at it. Yeah.
Well,
what is
to a degree, depending
Breath
on
of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
Breath of the Wild is, but let's think about Ocarina of Time, right? It's not the same one.
Yeah, it's not.
No, it's not.
If you think about virtually any of the other ones, it's not the same layout. Yeah, I could get behind the Legend of Zelda is the same. I don't think it's the same as my favorite NES Zelda, which is the Legend or the Adventures of Link, right? Like if you think about each of these maps, they are different.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I'm like, do you want to mix it up? Because it takes away a sense of like familiarity, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think the good thing they did with like Majora's Mask is that they had to create a new area because he was moving on. He was like going in the forest, keep like going, looking for a new adventure. So they were able to create a new map with that. Or like, if you go in the young timeline when like you have Phantom's Fire Hourglass, Wind Waker, the map was different because something happened to the world, which was pretty good. I found like that's the direction they headed. Right now with Breath of the Wild and Tears of Kingdom, like what's gonna come next, I don't know if they're gonna have to find a new location where Link is going. Or like he's gonna be going in space. It's gonna be the fourth level. I don't know.
Space Link.
Yes.
Half Hung, what are your thoughts on Hyrule Field and the lands between?
It's interesting because for most part it is the surface map is the same, while so like I know where a lot of core things are because I played Breath of the Wild so much. So I know where the core villages are, I know the core regions. But then they also moved a lot of things, like the fairies are in different locations, the towers are in different locations, and certain things are different, and the terrain is obviously changed with the upheaval and whatnot. So it's interesting how they changed up there while still remaining at core the same. I wish the sky was a little bit more personally, because while it is fascinating, it is kind of empty. There are vast periods where there's just nothing. So I wish they would add a little bit more into that. But I think it's cool how they designed it and the movement around it and whatnot is fascinating. What boggles my mind is how they kept the depths under wraps until launch. How did not a single person on the internet know about this? That blows my mind.
Insane.
And the fact that the depths is the surface inverted. So wherever you see a rise on the surface, it's a drop on the depths. So hills are valleys and valleys are hills if you look at it. And like you mentioned earlier, all of the shrines immediately correlate to light roots. So you can kind of think about what you want to do and where you want to go if you know where shrines are or where certain hills and valleys are. But even still, it's so mind-boggling how they added 2 layers of maps of main Hyrule and then the Sky World. And you can't necessarily just go from one to another either. There's areas where the only way to get to a spot in the depths is by a really weird path through the surface, and vice versa. There's only certain ways into surface regions that you can get to from the depths or from the sky. So the way they've just incorporated 3 layers of maps while keeping some of it the same and then adding in all this new stuff, it breaks my brain.
I just want to get back to the chat a little bit here. Some Debbie mentions that the game has been out for just over a week. I thought people had about 3 billion hours. That was just some hyperbole.
Just Debbie.
Hyperbole. Just Debbie. Debbie's a committed player there.
Yes.
This is a nice one. If you don't have a rocket, there's actually an alternative way to get launched. Take a bomb flower attached to the shield and surf. It will launch you up basically like a rocket, and it's got to be hilarious if it doesn't work out for you.
Oh yeah.
I just wouldn't use a wooden shield. I don't think that may work. Maybe a metal shield has to be the way.
It might get blow up or caught fire or something.
Pika Pika, what's up, Raven? Thanks for stopping on by. Hope you're doing well, good sir. And then I believe this is in relation to the map, almost 3 times the size of Breath of the Wild's original map. It's insane. Definitely gonna take me at least a year to completely cover everything. I know, and it's like the same area. It's like I went into that Korok village and aspects felt the same, but aspects also felt so very different. Like I knew there was a shrine that used to be up there, and I knew there was a great fairy around the bend, but no, that's not there anymore. And there's a giant chasm into the depths now. Which I still haven't found a great fairy to upgrade my armor, but don't nobody tell me where one is. Nobody tell me where one is. I want to stumble across it.
I avoid
Rudiggz.
them at all costs, though.
Rudiggz, you have
What's
to
a-
read the text people tell you where they are.
You have to read the dialogue, man.
Oh, that's my weakness. See, Pura told you exactly where to go. I said, nope, I have my own plan. Link don't talk, Link don't listen. That's how I play.
It doesn't read either.
What's up, Lo-Fi? Thanks for stopping on by.
What's
And
up?
we have Jay Debut. Hola, what's going on? He's doing this one from Hawaii. I did that a lot when I was in Hawaii.
Ja. It's Ja.
Aloha.
We say Ja.
Ja.
Ja from Hawaii
My
originally, and now
apologies.
lives in Wisconsin.
The shaka?
Oh, I loved Hawaii. I was there earlier this year. It was absolutely phenomenal and amazing. Yes, but I don't want us to go on for super long, and I know we could keep talking about Zelda forever. So last thing I want everyone to talk about is just take a couple seconds to just say your absolute favorite maybe moment, favorite aspect of the game, or favorite thing you've enjoyed during it. So I myself, I would think the first time I put together a hover bike in the depths and I had a light on the front, and I had spent so much time angling the fans 45 degrees off the control, putting it on the back, then getting the light on the front, and then I went out and I flew it, and I first of all I copied it because I didn't want to do it again. And then I went out and I flew it out into the depths, and I only had 2 batteries, and I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever. I was like a kid in the candy store. It was so awesome and phenomenal. I really do enjoy the crafting aspect to it. I love taking advantage of it. I love just brute forcing my way through some of these puzzles. Oh, I can't get up there? Yeah, right. I'll just make a ledge, go up and down, and then I'll use my recall ability and get on top of it. Or I'll just use that to fly a jet. But it's just so much fun. Absolutely loving it. Brings me back to my childhood days of playing Zelda, and I wouldn't give it up. And I'm glad they took those extra couple months to perfect it to where we see it is now. And yes, Zelda swag, and
Yeah,
get
the
your
sweater.
amiibos in. Get your amiibos on. And before you say, I want to know what everybody plays it on, because I play on a pro controller. So, but yeah, Nads, let me know, what is your favorite aspect of the game? What's going on there?
I would like to point out it's all because of Zelda. Everything happened. Like you shouldn't be too curious and then approach that demon and stuff like that. Everything goes wrong. It's all our fault. And again, Link's gonna fix the problem. But overall,
Yes. Yes. Zelda did mess it up a bit.
but overall the gameplay. I really like the story. I just like all the weapon you can create. The fusion. I like to stick have a long stick and put another weapon, make it twice as long, so no enemy can reach me. I try to remember there was fighting the Phantom Ganon. So I fought it a few times, and I found Pole is very useful because his darkness around him doesn't affect you, because you can long reach him and just stab him. So no, I really like all the concept of matching all the weapon and stuff like that. So it's a lot of fun. I'm pretty happy about the game.
Yeah.
And I play on the Pro
What are you playing?
controller. I play on
Yeah.
the Pro controller, and on the go I play directly on it with the Satisfy controller. What do you call it? Garmin, I
Yeah,
guess.
we're matching. We got the matching ones, and we didn't even know it.
Nice.
We have the exact same backings. And actually, I did their Kickstarter, and so I got this little device you can plug into the Switch, and it it AI upscales it. So I've been playing Tears of the Kingdom in 2K on my
What?
monitor here, and it just like it makes everything crisp. Like every time I play without it and stream it and do it at 1080p, it looks fuzzy to me now. I'm like, oh, I miss my
I
2K.
can see that. Yeah.
But half
Eh, eh,
hung. Let me know what's your favorite aspect of the game.
Man, it's so hard because there's so many parts of the game I love. That feeling the first time you defeat a Phantom Ganon's great, or like a Silver Lionel for the first time. You're like, oh my god, I didn't finally die. That's like always a great feeling. Finally getting that one drop off a dragon that you've been farming for 2 hours is nice. Honestly, I think my favorite part is the exploring the world and finding out the story behind everything that happened, because yeah, obviously the main campaign, the main memories will not tell you the core story, but there's so much that's happening in the world that's told through the characters, the side characters, the little events, like doing all the side missions for the various towns. You find out what's been going on with them, how they view their world, and it's just fascinating, and it really puts you into the world and gets you really invested in what you're doing, and I love it. As for how I play it docked with a Pro controller because my hands are too big to use those little nunchucks.
And do you turn off the gyro? I think.
Oh yeah, I can't stand it. I go to aim my bow and then because I am a firm believer that moving in your chair and leaning makes your character dodge better. So I'll like dodge in my chair, and then it moves my controller, and then my aim on my bow goes to space. So I'm like, turn off the gyro control.
Hey, Dr. Spaceman, thanks for coming on in. Oh, are you a fan of the game as well? I didn't know. Do you play The Legend of Zelda? Have you played The Legend of Zelda? Let us know. Inioke, tell us, what is your favorite aspect of the game, and how do you play?
Well, I am a sucker for storyline for other games I stream as well. So, storyline and also voice acting, but I know that's a controversial one because I'm actually okay with Link being mute and gesturing around. But I love the additional voice acting with Ganondorf's voice acting, and I'm really getting into the storyline. So, can't get enough of it. And what do I play on, right?
Yeah.
So I play off the out of the box Switch attachment contraption controller thing. I did.
The one where you slide the two things in.
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
I tried to get a knockoff Pro controller because I am not ready to spend $70. I just spent $70. This is my most expensive game, but I don't recommend it. Guys, do not get the light up afterglow LED. Well, you guys might like it because the motion control doesn't work at all, but I depend on it. But it looks pretty. I made it into light up like Tears of the Kingdom teal. But yeah, I want to get the Pro controller. I will invest in it.
Nice.
Awesome. Yeah, I think the Pro controller is a bit of an upgrade, but we're almost reaching, I feel like, almost at the end of the console life here. But the story, I agree, is absolutely epic, and I hope you find a cheaper controller if you do come across one. Purple, what is your favorite aspect of the game, and how do you play?
There,
Oh,
go ahead. I was double muted.
there we go.
So I think my favorite aspect of the game is actually, again, I'm different. I like the design. I like the fact that a lot of what I learned in Breath of the Wild is useful in Tears of the Kingdom. There's so many times like you learn a game and you're like, hey, I don't get to bring my armor or my stuff from the previous game. You have to start all over, right? And I think this game, I really appreciated that Nintendo said, you want to know what? We're going to give something to the fans of Breath of the Wild. We're going to elevate this experience. We're going to make it so that it's still a challenge, but a lot of what you learned before you can use now. So that hundreds of hours that you put into it, that's still good. You still have to learn hundreds of hours of more stuff. But I really enjoy the challenge because I think too many times games make sequels maybe too easy, or you're like, okay, I'm starting from like this is, yes, I guess the story's continuing on, but it doesn't necessarily build on it. And I don't even know how someone who's not played Breath of the Wild, how they will feel jumping into this game. Like I think it's really meant for like a Zelda fan versus someone new. So I appreciate that because I don't think game companies take the risk to do that enough. The other thing is, and I'm playing it on my Tears of the Kingdom Pro controller.
Nice.
So
Oh, that looks so nice. What was that? So is that what's the design on it?
it's like
With
let me see.
the glyph.
Oh.
Yeah,
love that.
Geoglyphs. Wow, that's beautiful.
that's
Yeah.
nice.
That's
So,
really nice.
that's what I'm
I'm
playing it
jealous.
I had a switch up. I had a Breath of the Wild. I don't know. It was for the nunchucks before. It was like a Breath of the Wild one. So I went
okay,
up
yeah.
to
The pro
controller
now.
for this one.
Control. Oh well,
Nice,
that's
nice.
awesome. I want to thank everybody on the panel for coming on by and spending time hanging out with us, nerding out on some Zelda. We got through as much as we can, and sorry, chat, if we didn't get to you all. You have all been super amazing, hanging out, saying what's up, chatting in, giving all your love for Zelda in there. So we super appreciate that as well. If you want to give love to all these content creators on the panel, you can check out their links. It's in the title description. So be sure to go over there and give them some love as well with the like and subscribe. Does anyone, we'll start from the bottom. What are you up to this week? And then we'll close out the show.
Well, I have my show, Shades of Purple. I have another content creator coming on. I just finished Bramble before this show, so I will be kind of devoting all the time into Tears of the Kingdom, not streaming just because I don't think I stream it too well, but behind the scenes I am playing a ton of it.
Aw.
So
There's no wrong way to stream it.
yeah, well, I like, my streams. I like to engage in chat, and Tears of the Kingdom takes just way too much of my attention to engage in chat. So maybe like a boss fight I may stream if that so happens to line up to my schedule. But yeah, that's what I'm doing.
I understand that.
Nice.
Oh, awesome. Thank you, Purple. Inioke, what are you up to this week?
Tears of the Kingdom every day, every night. It seems, well, almost every night, probably around 8 or 9 Eastern time, you can catch on my channel. I know a bunch of people have been requesting more cooking videos, so I might sprinkle some in on my other channel too. But just doing more Tears of the Kingdom. And after I finish that, I'm just trying to find more story-based games, more indie games, maybe get into Cyberpunk later as well with the DLC coming out.
Awesome stuff. I appreciate you coming on and hanging out with us. So thank you. Half Hung, what are you going to be up to this week other than raiding with us on Tuesday?
Well, let's see. Finishing up Zelda, that's going to take a little while. And then Destiny's got this new update coming out soon. Outside of that, I don't know. It depends on what's coming out soon. I've been so absorbed in Zelda, I haven't been paying attention to anything else. So,
The time has stopped around you.
Yeah,
Just
pretty
playing
much.
Zelda. Yeah.
Using recall.
if nothing else, I'll be there, Tuesday nights doing the raid with you guys. So
Awesome.
And we appreciate it. Thanks, Half Hung, for coming out. And Nads, of course, we will be gaming on Tuesday, our community stream and raid. So
Yes,
fun.
we're probably gonna be playing some Destiny 2 more this week because we have the new season coming out on Tuesday, so that should be interesting. Let's see where it's heading from there. What they're gonna add. There's a lot of change happening on the PvP side for Destiny 2. A lot of weapon archetype changing, so that should be interesting. We'll see that coming up soon.
And before I go, I always forget to do this. I'm going to end the poll here. If I know how to do that. End the poll. So I put your favorite Zelda time period. And forgive me, I didn't include the Wii or the Wii U. But I put NES, Super Nintendo Entertainment System, Nintendo 64, or Switch. And we have 47% saying the NES, the
Back
original.
up. Where's GameCube?
Original.
Where's
What?
GameCube, sir? Wind
Yeah, my
Waker
bad.
was a thing.
I only had
Me
4
neither.
selections, and I didn't play that in
I'm
those
out.
time periods, so I didn't include that. Yes, we are all out on that note. Thank you, everyone, for coming on. Thank you, chat, for hanging out. This has been a wicked episode. And panelists, before we go, just move your headphones because the credits can be a little loud on the ears. And I didn't tell you that before the show, Purple. So I just want to give you a warning. Thanks, everybody. Take care, and we'll see you next week.
See you guys all.
Grove. 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 Why try to believe in me? Why try do I even need to? I die with the season leaves. I glide with the season breeze. True, my mind so easily spooked. I ride just to be the me who finds hype super decently smooth. Nice type, but as sick as beats.